Hello, my name's Rebecca Clark and I'm extremely proud to be the head teacher of Greenleas School in Leighton Buzzard. Greenleas is unique in Leighton Buzzard in that it's a two-site school. We have one site at Kestrel Way and another site on Derwent Road in Linslade. There are 2 classes in each year group, but provision is exactly the same on both sites. I've been the head teacher here for 7 years, but I wasn't always the head teacher. I started out as a parent helper in the nursery class when my little girl was about the same age that your child will be now, as you're considering whether this is the right place to apply for your child. I then worked for a while as a midday supervisor, helping the children eat a healthy lunch every day, trained and became a class teacher, and from there I went on to become deputy head, and now I'm the head teacher of this amazing school. It's a shame you can't be here with us in person, but I'm hoping to give you a taste of what it's like to be a child here at Greenleas.
Baby, we're children of summer, we're meant to be free. Hearted, we're not like the others, no reason to be.
First and foremost, we're a values school. What that means is that we teach the children positive values with which they can live their lives both now and when they grow up. So every month the children learn a new value. For example, this month we're learning about tolerance, and they're encouraged to really show that value through their behaviour and how they live their lives in school. We choose a values champion every month, and they get to come and have high tea with me in my office. And that's to celebrate how they're being such a fantastic role model and living the positive values every day in the school.
Baby, we're children of summer, we're meant to be free. Honey, we're not like the others, no reason to be. Lady is far in our lungs, so it's too hard to breathe. Lover, I live for the day you and I turn to we.
So, next to me, you can see our Greenleas promise. At Greenleas, we ask the children to remember just 4 things, and they're written on the 4 leaves of our clover. We want our children to be good listeners, we want them to be polite and helpful, we want them to always try their best, and we want them to take care of the school and of each other. And we really believe if we just remember these 4 simple things, then the world is just a much better place to be. As our tour takes you around the school, you'll notice that we have beautifully decorated doorways to every classroom. Our learning is based around a creative curriculum here at Greenleas. What that means is that all our learning, apart from maths, is centred around one particular topic for the half term. So, for example, in early years, we might be learning about dinosaurs, and in year 2, we might be learning about the Great Fire of London, while in year 4, we're learning about the Romans. For that half term, all the children's learning is linked to that theme, so they get a much greater breadth and depth as they put their learning into context, and it really helps the children to make sense of what they're learning.
9, what comes next? 10. Ready, I'm not, I'm coming, yelled Barry.
Hello, my name's Mr Pearce and I'm the early years phase leader and one of the reception class teachers here at Greenleas Derwent Road. At Greenleas, we feel it's really important to develop relationships with all of our families from the outset. This strong partnership between home and school will help your child to have a successful and enjoyable learning journey. Our priority is that all children have a happy and positive start to their school life.
I've got a conqueror in here so you can get a conqueror.
Here at Greenleas Derwent Road there are 2 reception classes where we have a shared outdoor space and the children mix freely between the 2 classrooms during child-led learning. A range of stimulating activities are set up inside and outside that allow the children to explore and make links and trial their own ideas. During their time with us, we teach the children the knowledge, skills and understanding through our curriculum and encourage active learning to practice and consolidate these skills. We use an online learning journey where we send home photos and videos of what the children are doing, and this is called Tapestry, and more importantly you can also share your child's learning experiences with us at school too. Each day the children take part in adult-led maths, literacy and phonics sessions, and also they have twice weekly PE lessons, they have an RE lesson and values and circle times assemblies. Our reading at school is taught through systematic synthetic phonics using letters and sounds, and the children take books home weekly to build on their fluency and practice these skills. We also encourage you as much as possible to read other things at home. Hot. Once the children know their sounds, we encourage them to apply their skills to writing, where we foster a love of writing through our helicopter stories approach, where the children get to become authors, writers, actors, and they get to direct their own stories.
Captain America. So what's Captain America going to get up to?
He's going to play with Iron Man.
Our daily maths sessions support children to become fluent with number relationships and patterns. All of this links with our whole school approach of developing maths for mastery. We use the number blocks materials as a starting point to explain key mathematical concepts and introduce a number. Over the course of a week we build on this, developing mathematical ideas and language. The children are at the heart of everything we do here in reception, supporting each and every one of them to achieve the very best they can.
The orange bar to represent the 25, and then we've done 5 of the red cubes to represent the 5 groups with 5 in them.
At Greenleas, we're really proud of how we've developed our maths learning. We've been working with the National Centre for the Excellence in Teaching of Mathematics since 2016, and we have 2 Maths Mastery specialist teachers on our staff. Mastery teaching of mathematics means that we want the children to be really secure in their maths knowledge, in terms of what they know about numbers and what they know about procedures. So the children spend lots of time repeating and practicing and working with numbers so that they know those facts really, really well. What that means is then when the children encounter trickier problems that maybe have 2 or 3 parts, their maths knowledge is so secure and so embedded that they can really, really think about how they're going to tackle that problem and not be worrying about how they're going to add 2 numbers together to make 10 or try and remember their times tables, because that knowledge is so secure already.
So we have 8.
And that mastery learning starts as soon as the children join us in reception. We begin working with numbers from 1 to 5, then we move on to working with numbers from 1 to 10. And of course we mustn't forget that very special 0. Must remember how important 0 is.
Remember, we need to think about our answer. We need to make our answer. Can we prove it? And then can we explain? So let's have a look.
Our learning is supported by specially designed maths books called Maths No Problem, which feature a range of characters that support the children in their maths learning, and each child has one of these that they work through in their maths lessons in class. Children need to be confident about how to count. They need to understand that some numbers are made up of smaller numbers. They need to understand which numbers are bigger and which numbers are smaller. They need to be able to recognise patterns, and they do work with shape and space and measure. We use lots of manipulatives in class, like counters or 10 squares, beads, deans and bar models, so that the children have concrete objects to help them develop their understanding of mathematical concepts. Children learn to read at Greenleas using a synthetic phonics programme called Letters and Sounds. How this works is it teaches children how to recognise the individual sounds or phonemes within a word. So for example, k, at are the sounds you can hear in cat. Once the children can identify those sounds, they then learn how to blend them together to make a word when they are reading.
Sound out, ready? Hide. Hide.
Obviously the next step from that is to start writing those sounds down with their early writing. We supplement our phonics learning with interactive programs like Phonics Play that teach the children how to differentiate between real words and junk words by recognising words that they know from their reading. The children also take a reading book home to read with a grown-up to help develop their fluency and their understanding. We have lots of assemblies at Greenleas School, and they take place in the hall. We have assemblies for values, we have assemblies for year group, we have a singing assembly, and at the end of the week we have a celebration assembly.
Love of one another, love of all people, and love of life and living. Let us remember that as many hands build a house, so many hearts make a school.
Celebration Assembly is really special because that's where we look back on the week that the children have had in school and we celebrate everything that they've learned and everything that they've achieved. So children are nominated for something called the Charter Mark, and that's an award for living one of the values during the week at school. They might also be celebrating a birthday, and we have a Greenleas birthday cake and we sing a birthday song, and the children come out and blow out the candles in front of the whole school. Children are also encouraged to bring in achievements from home. So often we have brownie badges, or we have swimming certificates, or we have the trophy from Player of the Match at football and rugby club. Children bring in completion certificates from charity events and sponsored events that they've taken part in. All of these things we share in front of all the children, so we can be really proud of everything that we're working towards each week. The hall is also where we host all of our performances. So traditionally we will have assemblies for parents to come and watch. We have our Christmas productions in the hall. We have our Easter production and our end of year 4 show. Greenleas has a fantastic tradition for singing. We have a choir at each site, and the children do lots of singing as part of their music lessons, but also as part of assemblies and their learning in school. And it's really fantastic to hear the children's voices filling the hall every week at assembly and for these special productions as well. The hall is also the venue for lots of our community events. We have a really proactive PTA at both sites, and they put on some fantastic things which not only the children get to enjoy but also raise funds for the school. They organise discos that the children get to come to. Some fantastic Christmas and summer fairs also take place in the hall, as well as quizzes and other community events. So if you're a new parent to Greenleas, joining the PTA is a fantastic way to get to know other families within the school and also be part of school life. The hall is also the heart of the school at lunchtime, because this is where the children come together to enjoy their lunch. Children can have a hot meal or a packed lunch, whichever they choose, but all children from reception up until the end of year 2 are entitled to a free lunch, which they can enjoy in the hall. And you can order that through the school website and pay for it through the website as well. We're very lucky at Greenleas. We have 2 kitchens that produce our meals freshly on site, and we have a choice of 3 options every day, including a vegetarian option. We can cater for allergies and particular dietary needs, and the kitchen's very good at identifying who those children are so that they can receive their special meal. Our food is delicious and nutritionally balanced and meets all the health regulations for healthy eating as required by the government. We're really proud of the food that we serve here, because we think it's really important for the children to have good food inside them to fuel them for their learning through the rest of the afternoon. At the moment, we're trying to have PE outside in the fresh air as much as possible, but this is England and it does rain, and on those days we come into the hall for PE, but that's also where we would have, for example, dance lessons and some more indoor oriented lessons such as apparatus or gymnastics. For these lessons, we ask children to have a PE kit, which is available from the uniform shop and online, and we also ask the children to have a tracksuit and trainers for when we are doing PE lessons outside. The children all have 2 PE lessons a week, and these are taught by the class teacher. On a Friday afternoon, everything stops for enrichment. This is when our teachers take their PPA, or planning, preparation and assessment time, and the children enjoy a range of clubs and activities with the rest of their class. We have a range of clubs, so for example we have Forest School, we have Gardening and Allotment Club, we have Bikeability, where the children learn how to ride a bike safely outdoors. We have Sports Leaders, where our Year 4 children learn how to facilitate games on the playground. We also have martial arts that happen in the hall and a dance club. This is how we broaden our curriculum beyond more traditional learning like maths and English, so the children really enjoy a range of activities beyond the traditional curriculum and experience other things that broaden their minds and their experience beyond the classroom. If I was taking you around the school myself, somebody would be bound to ask me about homework. So at Greenleas, one of the things that's very important is reading. We ask grown-ups to hear their child read 4 times a week, and we have a Clover Reading Award in school where the children can collect certificates as they stamp off in their reading diary that they've done their reading every day. That really helps the children build their fluency, and it also helps them understand what they're reading, just having that time sharing a book with a grown-up. We also ask you to read other stories and share those with your child at home. We'll give you maths homework that supports what the children have been learning in class. We also have a learning log, and that goes home every half term. That has a choice of activities linked to your topic that you can choose from with your child. So for example, you might be doing some Anglo-Saxon cookery, or you might be going on a nature walk to understand the changing signs of the seasons. All things that will enhance the learning that your child is doing in class. You'll want to know whether we have wraparound care here at Greenleas, and we do. We have a range of before and after school activities. We have sports clubs, for example, that take place in the hall, like football, tennis. We also have French, and we have a breakfast and after school club that's housed in our preschool building at both sites. All of these things are available to book on our website, and they run from 8 o'clock in the morning. Sports clubs run until 4:30, and after school club runs until 5:30 or even 6 o'clock. Parents sometimes ask me about ratios within the classroom with small children. At Greenleas we have a class teacher for every class, and we also have a teaching assistant. In our reception and nursery classes, those teaching assistants work all day. And then from Year 1 upwards they work in the morning only, so that there's another adult available to support the children with their learning. We also might have a one-to-one teaching assistant in the class who's there to support any children with additional needs. At Greenleas we believe it's really important to identify when children are struggling or have barriers to their learning. We have a SENCO who works across both sites, and it's her role to work with children with special educational needs and disabilities, to include them in our curriculum and really help them get the most out of their learning. At Greenleas we try and do this as early as we can, because we believe if we can get the right help as soon as we possibly can, then we can work together to find a pathway for a child and help them get the most out of their learning while they're with us here at school. If you'd like to know more about Greenleas, there are some other videos available on our website. Have a look at what makes Greenleas great. The faces of the children may have changed, but the ethos is still the same. If you'd like to hear more about my journey into headship, there's a video on the website, which was also featured on the One Show a few years ago. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video today. I hope you've got a taste of what it's like to be a child at Greenleas. If you have any more questions, why don't you give our friendly office team a call at either site? Otherwise, I'll look forward to meeting you and your child in person when you join us in September to start an exciting journey into learning.
Greenleas School is special to me because, firstly, because all the staff are really nice, and secondly, it's because it's sort of like a second home for me, and once people settle in, they really enjoy school.